We're on air. Hi, I'm with a group of people. I'm with my Google Spec team, and we've got Ross Mahon. But what I'll do is I'll just ask everybody to briefly introduce themselves at the beginning. I'll put you on the screen. Who's on screen?
I'm guessing I am. I can't see really.
Oh, okay, Andreas.
Yeah, I'm Andreas. Hi. Um, I'm one of Martin's consultants.
Smashing. And I thought you could see who's on screen.
No.
But Jeff, who can you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Jeb. I'm also one of the consultants.
Okay. And I'm putting on. I've got Justin. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Justin, and I'm also one of the Martin's consultants.
Okay, and finally, actually, I'll put Ross on to talk next, but this is a special story. I've got Zlatan on screen, and where are you, Zlatan?
I'm currently in Bosnia.
This is totally cool because Zlatan had to go off to meet holiday commitments, and
In the Wild West.
he's begged, borrowed, and stolen an internet connection from Bosnia here. So I'm really, really pleased. This is the furthest we got, and I've got okay, and Ross is on screen at the moment. Ross is working for Google. Do you want to introduce yourself and where you are, Ross?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ross Mahon, and I'm actually in Dublin at the moment, but I'm over and back in the UK quite a lot as well.
Okay, so we the students have got us the furthest out. We were in Dublin yesterday with Fintan Murphy of Dams and Cloud. So we're back in Dublin again today. What I thought I'd do, this is a project that I've had 6 students work with me to help the college in its Go Google strategy. They've been doing, well, they'll explain what they've been doing one by one. But since Ross has been kind enough to join us from Google, I thought it'd be best to start off with Ross, and then he can leave us, because we're probably a busy man, and he can leave us halfway through if he fancies. So, Ross, would you like to, as a guest speaker for my students and anybody listening, just sort of talk a bit about yourself and how you got involved with Google and what you do and what you're thinking of doing and that kind of stuff?
Sure, yeah. So I've been at Google for just under 5.5 years. I actually started off doing a degree in business and hotel management, so nothing to do with what I'm doing now. But a general concept of Google is that they hire for people rather than necessarily the skill set, and they then develop people over a period of time where needed. So I worked in the travel sector, in the advertising travel sector for 2 years, and I've been doing this for just short of 3.5 years now. And what I do is basically work with schools, universities, colleges, ministries of education, municipalities, local authorities, and talk to them about how the kind of the Google vision of using the web as being this phenomenal learning platform, and being able to give access to students, and that being really, really important. So that's I suppose what I've been doing for the last while.
Oh, that's wonderful. Actually, that's a good story, really, because it's not the typical techno geeky side, is it? I noticed at Google Atmosphere this year that Google were now playing more on the cultural side. I mean, my background is psychology. I'm not initially an IT person. I remember there was a period where IT was more incestuous, if you like. You know, it was more geeky, and now it's kind of breaking out of that, and it's becoming, yeah, there's a lot more about citizen IT, I suppose. There is obviously deep geekiness inside Google, isn't there? But it's more about,
yes, there definitely is. Yeah, I think what the access to the web has allowed people to do is basically geek out on their own. They don't necessarily need to have to go to college to learn how to code. I've spoken with 10-year-olds who are already quite proficient in HTML and CSS, and now moving on to JavaScript. So, you know, at that age, they're all self-taught. So the whole Khan Academy approach to things has really opened that up.
Yeah, I've got a session at the Future of Technology and Education in October, and it's one of the messages I'll be giving is about inclusiveness, how, you know, almost the traditional education system with its lock into what some people describe as like full fat environments. It's almost disadvantaging those people that want to learn, you know, what you might call light free web tools that you can do. I don't, Ross. When I'll ask this question, the students, I tasked them in the last week of their project to try and write apps on their Chromebooks. I've given them Chromebooks and asked them to do everything on Chromebook and not touch traditional computing. But I was getting the impression that they were finding it difficult to write Chromos apps on apps. And you've got any experience of writing apps on Chromebooks? Because I didn't want them to have to resort to having to use a PC. But is that something you've got any information about?
I mean, there are developer tools that are basically pure HTML5. Right now, I think that there's quite a lot of organizations that are trying to migrate things like Scratch, etc., to the cloud. But right now, for kind of hardcore, developers, in a lot of cases they're still using an RDP or a Citrix in order to kind of tap into a Mac or a PC, if they're needing sort of the sort of functionality where a particular program is needed that can't be installed or doesn't have a Chrome version of it. So I think it still is, to a certain extent, a kind of a mixed environment situation.
And what you were saying about Scratch, that'd be useful, because we still have to download that and install it on the PCs. Love to have, a lot of our students use Scratch. Love to have that as a web base. That's my mantra, really. Social, web-free, citizen programming, light approach that helps the IT services department, which I run. But it's also more relevant for students. Something I call life-wide, really. We can download these big, expensive, heavy maintenance tools for the traditional approach, but I want our students really to be using stuff that they can find free on the web and they can use at home. As a case, I remember one of our teachers on another project I'm involved with that is with what we call it, like this one, eAmbassadors, where the students help the teachers with technology questions. And always remember that they were timetabled to a classroom without Photoshop in it. And the teacher wanted to do some photo editing, and I said, well, ask the students, see what they use. And they came up with, 6 or 7 different tools that they use in their own lives where they can't afford to, Photoshop or even Photoshop Elements, for example. But there was Pixlr and GIMP, I think, and there was things they were using on Facebook. There's Avery, of course, for Google Apps, things like that. Students, what did you use for your your editing tool?
For me, I used
Poster.
I use
IPC photo
Pixlr.
editor.
Pixlr. Oh, what did you say, Jeff?
IPC photo editor.
Okay, I don't even know that one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that was an app, was it?
yeah. It's what I'm using to edit photos.
All right. I was going to say, Ross, might as well record this in sort of so that it's down, because the students are going to watch this later and things. I noticed when I've got to communicate with you guys at Google, it's all through Google Plus now. I think I've got your email addresses, but either you don't respond now, but I noticed that you talking to Fintan, and so you Fintan says he spends half his day in Google Hangouts, and I noticed that communication is far better with Google Plus. I was wondering now, how far have you at Google kind of moved to using the G Plus platform for your internal communications as opposed to Gmail, even email? And how much do you use Hangouts in your daily work?
Yeah, I mean, extensively. All of our rooms, our meeting rooms, and they all use Hangouts. All of our communication, whether it's at a desk or whatever else, will be on Hangout. So I'm probably on 5 or 6 hours a day of Hangouts with teams in the US and the UK and all across Europe as well. So I spend a lot of time with this in this sort of view.
Yeah, that's what about a year ago. That's what you guys were saying, and Fintan as well. I was surprised, like 6 hours a day in video calls. That's, and what I've noticed as well is that I've been doing this almost. I won't say laziness, but I think should I email someone? Oh, my fingers are aching through typing all day. I'll just call them up. It seemed a lot more natural. Okay, have you got any questions for Ross? Students, while you're here?
Not really. I think I forgot my question.
That's all right. No, it was all unplanned really at last
Well,
minute.
you can hit me up on G Plus or Twitter afterwards if you wanna ask any questions, of course.
Okay, yeah, I've noticed you using Twitter as well. That's cool. Yeah, I, I've really quite taken to Google Plus now. I use them both like you do, Ross. Twitter's I find quite good for wide networking, especially with strangers. And Google Plus, a lot of people mention this. Yeah, I find Google Plus is pretty good for project work when you want to get on with something. So it's kind of like Twitter for breadth, and then Google Plus for depth, if you like. That's the sort of way I've used it. And then you've got all that add-on tools. What I thought I might do is break out then and have the students to just talk about what they've done with this final wrap-up meeting. If you want to dive off now, Ross, or if you've got something else you'd like to say, we could let you go if you can hang around.
No, send me the recording afterwards. I'd like to share it with the community team as well, so that they can have a look at it. Unfortunately, I've got to run off to a meeting now again. But thanks very much for being consultants in a sense, and hopefully it's been fun. And yeah, send me the recording so I can have a look at it afterwards as well.
Will do. Okay, thanks, Ross. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Good luck, guys. See you later.
See
See you later.
Question. Okay, Andreas, you want to just give us a brief sort of story what you have done on the project and how it's been for you?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about our presentations. Throughout our internship, we did a few presentations about going Google. We basically tried to inform staff to show them like Google features. Just gave them presentations about
Okay.
how easy it is, and we gave them some demonstrations and stuff like that.
What was your got a lot of echo. I always have echo when I'm talking to you, Andreas. I don't know why. But what was your project? Your part of the presentation. What one did you do specifically?
Sorry, you mean my topic in the presentation?
Yeah.
I talked about Google Sites and Google Hangouts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Andreas. Go to Justin. Justin, oh, I've got dreadful feedback suddenly. That's better. What kind of aspects did you work on, and what can you relate about the project?
Well, the project was actually really good for me. I mean, the experience is really good because we get to work independently. Like we can work at home or we can work here in the college. And also during the placement, during the project, I was working with the social media side. I was updating and keeping the contents up to date. Also, I worked with Jeff for the website that we're making for the Google Specs. I added in my contents, which is Gmail and Google Drive. And I also presented Gmail and Google Drive and with all its features and extra add-ons that users can use.
Okay, thanks. And a special appearance from Zlatan, who's in Bosnia, the furthest we've got. Zlatan, you want to talk about what you remember about the project the last 6 weeks, what we've been working on?
Overall, my experience was fantastic. In the project, I got to do a presentation about Google Calendar and Google Blogger, and I found that the way that especially Google Calendar syncs with other Google applications such as Gmail. For example, if you write a buzzword like interview, it will automatically pop up with the calendar option, add to calendar. I found that very interesting. I didn't know that before, and I found just presenting this to people like very interesting. They got to learn new things, and I got to learn new things myself. And then we also went to the Cloud World Forum, which I got to learn a lot about the impact of social media on education, which I found very interesting. And I also proposed an app for the college. It's one that I'm currently going to work on once I found obviously a stable internet connection. So that the college, all the course information for certain courses will appear like on an application which students can use from their Android, and that's currently work in progress.
Yeah, thanks for that, Zlatan. Because the project's kind of officially ending now, but if you carry on with that, we may be able to get, if you want to, kind of what I call internship or arrangement with the marketing department. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be brilliant.
carry on working because we've moved to Jeff now, who's got a story that's related to that about what we were speaking about with the international department about an hour ago. So, Jeff, you want to talk about what you've done on the project and what you're doing next?
Well, for me, for the project, everything was like new to. Most of it was new to me, with the exception of using Google Drive in Gmail. For Google Sites, by exploring it into deeper, I was able to actually I was I got into it, and for Google Groups as well, because by exploring every apps within the Google account, I was like thinking of so many things that I can do with it, and it's pretty helpful for me since if, for example, I think if especially for the upcoming uh, internship that's going to be given to me by like the international department, that they're gonna hire me for develop to design them what I call that, a website for by using Google Sites, which will be which will be very intriguing to see if I can actually pull it off.
Yeah, we've all got to learn. I think everybody's at the same level. The people in the international department, myself and you, none of us are experts, and so we've got to learn as we go along. I just sort of explain that the international department kind of progress kind of strategy using Google resources to engage students internationally. What they want to do is create a Google site and integrate some features like Blogger and of course Twitter feeds, YouTube and stuff like that, which Jeff is going to help them work on. And then we were talking about them using Google Communities, and we create all the students that apply for a course a Google account before they join the course, so the department can onboard them, interact with them, develop them before they start their course. So the students being dispersed around the globe, they will be able to, get to know each other. They will, some of them be coming to the UK to do their course, but so by the time they come to the UK, they may all know each other, having interacted through communities and the Google resources that and Jeff is going to help them work with. So, well, it's been my pleasure to work with you, Google Specs consultants. I'm really. It's a pity that this has got to come to an end, and in fact, I'll have to, apart from Jeff, I'll have to sort of claim back your Google Chromebooks because they've been using Chromebooks to do all their work with, and I've become used to this, and I shall miss our Friday hangouts, to be honest. And so unfortunately, I've got to get the Chromebooks back because there's other people absolutely gagging for them. They've seen what you've been doing, and I want one too. I want one too. Apart from Zlatan, who's I'm not coming over there to get it, Zlatan. So you carry on working. If you're going to work on the Chromebook on the app, then you can keep that one, like Jeff, until later in the summer. So I'll say, I think you're speaking, Zlatan. Oh, I've got no sound on you.
You're muted or something.
Oh no, I'm fine now.
Oh, it's fine now. I saw you trying to speak. Were you trying to say something, Zlatan?
Yeah, I said, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna work on this app. As soon as I get a working connection, I want to carry on, and contribute a bit more.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So if we've got a little bit of continuity, that's really good. That we'll have an ongoing story with Jeff to do the development work for the international, and Zlatan, if you do a bit of an app, that would be nice to deliver that, and especially the college app that you were describing. That would be a nice one. That one. The students create apps. I'd say we've got another story with teachers developing an app, but even better, the students developing an app as an example for the IT curriculum next year. So I'm really looking forward to that. So okay, everybody. Well, the word. No, I won't say that. Anyway, I'll say goodbye. And it's been my pleasure working with you.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.